Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 8. I think this is episode 16, 14, 15, 16. I'll put it down in the description. It's called I Choose Me or I Choose Me. To me, this whole episode was like a moment of encouraging words for all the sisters. Encouraging words, Chad. You know how you be on a program at church, they're gonna tell me, can we get Sister Marie Willis to get up and to give all the ladies some encouraging words? I think that's what this was on today. Yeah, I am not on camera today. I just kind of don't. I don't really feel all that well. Not just sick, I'm just kind of irritated. And so I don't need y'all to see that all on my face. And also, when I do go on camera, I have to upload it differently. And it takes almost 3 hours to upload, which is irritating. So, yeah. But anyway, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you do like, the more I do go through the algorithm and more people will start to view my commentary. So, we just going to go ahead and get into this episode of Tyler Perry's Sistas. On the road to 10,000 subscribers. And I need 100 likes every single video. Okay, like. All right, so here we go. If the show picks up where it left off, where Detective Watts has come on down to Fatima and Zach's place, right? So Detective Watts is he's being very rude, and Zach is like, why are you here? He said he wanted pretty much to ask him some questions. Zach said, do you have a warrant? He was like, no, but I can get one. I can tear this place apart. And I'm just like, just ask the question so we can keep it moving. Zach and Agent White have a lot of back and forths, but he brings to their attention that Gary was talking, and he was saying that Gary had identified Fatima for putting a knife to the neck, and he also identified Zach as punching him in the face. And Zach's whole thing was, doesn't Gary have like some memory issues? And like, it's almost like pretty much everything that Zach was saying, Fatima was giving him the eye, like, we not supposed to let him know we know that. Like, we not supposed to be putting him in our business. Okay, be limited in your conversation, Zach. So Fatima really just giving him the eye. But his whole thing is like, look, Agent White's whole thing is like, look, Gary had identified y'all because he said that he seen that. Oh, another thing too, before he got into what he said, because Fatima was like, if you really had some concrete evidence or whatever, then we would be in handcuffs. So apparently you don't have nothing. Can you pretty much tell us what Gary said so we can get this show on the road? So that's when Agent White goes into saying something like, okay, well, Gary, about he saw a woman there the night that he got, stabbed or whatever. And Zach was like, it was a whole lot of women there. He was like, but when I show him Fatima's picture or whatever, he really recognized her. Like his demeanor or whatever, everything changed when it came to her. And they just kept saying, we didn't do nothing, and all this other stuff. And that's, yeah, they was talking about they didn't do anything. And then here go Agent White, as always. He always bringing up the custody. Do you have custody of baby Michael? And, I'm saying, downgrading Fatima as far as her being a lawyer. And she's not a lawyer. She's in, he's just really aggravating them and getting on their nerves and just really just trying to push their buttons, trying to get information. But Fatima's whole thing is, you don't have nothing. If you had something, we would be in handcuffs right now. And you don't. Period, point blank. So it is what it is. And then that's when Zach commenced to tell him, like, this is what pretty much, I'll show you what we've been working on, just to pretty much let you know this is why we are not suspects in your case, because we are, doing this. And then it cut to another scene. All right, so now you have Andi sitting down with Miss Marie Willis. And Andi is still in her slumps. She's just trying to figure out her life at this point. And so she's still trying to eat ice cream. Child, Miss Willis is grabbing anything that Andi is putting in her mouth. She is snatching it and throwing it to the floor, telling Andi she just can't be so passive, that she can't give up so easily. Like, just saying all these different things. Like, the only reason why I came to this firm is because of you. Just telling her all these things. And then Andi brings up, like, you're sounding like Danny, especially when it comes to her being passive and just letting people walk over her and allowing people to pretty much use her or whatever. And that's when Miss Marie Willis was like, oh well, she kind of liked this Danny, what about her? And then she said that Danny is a strong woman like Miss Marie, and that has had a panic attacks and night terrors, but she's getting therapy. And then Miss Marie Willis was like, well, that's good, she's getting therapy. And then she said, you know what, I need to meet your girls. Like, I need to meet all your girls. I need you to call all your girls over to the house, because apparently y'all need to fix, she was saying something like, y'all personal issues need to be fixed, and that in turn will probably help their business issues, because they need to get their personal vendettas in check. All right, so now back over with Tony and Danny. Again, they both getting the calls from HR, and both of them are pretty much nervous about what is HR wanting, like why would HR want to talk to them, right? And so they trying to speculate, is it because of their relationship? Is it against, I guess the handbooks to have a relationship and all that stuff? But they really didn't come to a conclusion, and because they don't know. So they still getting these pings or whatever, and then that's pretty much that. All right, so now from the last episode, Sabrina was telling Maurice that, Rich's sperm wasn't valuable, so he couldn't, produce a baby. So now they have it to where Sabrina is walking, and Maurice is walking behind her and was like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to get their money? You going to get their money? You going to get their money? So while he's talking about their money ends up popping up, and Maurice thinking he's some type of psychic, or he can summons people and they pop up, right? Being funny. So their money comes in, and he's just like, did I come at a bad time or whatever? And then Maurice, he gets up and leave, and their money sits down, and he can see that Sabrina is visibly upset, but he tells her that, he came down here because he has some great news, that they're having like a finance and tech meeting, and did he say Turks and Caicos? I think he said Turks and Caicos. And because of the article that he wrote on Sabrina, like they asked her to come out, like they want to feature her. They want her to be representation of the bank. And she just said, yes, I'll do it, with tears in her eyes. So yeah. All right. So now back over at Karen's house, her mom comes, and her mom is pretty much checking on her. Apparently Miss Lisa is going to be staying for a while. And that's pretty much it with that. And also she was calling Pam in regards to the shop, but Miss Marie Willis had took the phone and was like, you don't need to be worried about Pam. I'll just go down to the shop and check on her myself. You just sit here and you don't worry about all that stuff, right? So I'm just going to move a little forward in this one too. So when Miss Lisa leaves, Karen does get her phone call from Andi saying that, can you get on a Zoom call, because they know that Karen is on bed rest or whatever. And she was like, girl, no, I'm in my house. I'm in here getting, is it stare fever, going stare crazy? And she was just like, I'll just come over there. They was like, no, I don't want you to, drive and all this other stuff. She was like, she'll just call a ride share, and she's going to head on over to Andy's house. All right. So now over at the juice bar, you have Penelope, Jordan, and Rich. And Jordan is very upset because he don't want to talk about Gary Borders no more. I don't want to talk about Gary Borders. Oh, because he got him in this mess. And Penelope is just happy she out of jail. You know what I'm saying? She's just like, look, okay, we don't have to talk about it right now. But she said she wished that she could remember what happened. Because that's when she brought up that she couldn't remember everything, and she thinks she could possibly be the one to stab Gary. And that's when he was like, I don't want to talk about Gary Borders. I don't want to talk about him or whatever. But Rich was like, man, calm down. Like the good white people in here looking at you, like you need to calm down. But anyway, so they end up talking about Rich, like what's going on with Rich. Rich starts to say that he has a sickle cell trait. He doesn't have sickle cell, but at this moment, Sabrina is pretty much having second thoughts about having having a kid with him, because of the fact of the sickle cell trait. And Penelope's whole thing was, of course Sabrina is devastated, but Penelope was just like, well, I hope Sabrina understands how this is affecting you too. And then she ends up getting a phone call from Gary saying that, excuse me, not from Gary, but from Robin, saying that Robin wants to meet her to talk about the case and all that other stuff. So she gets up and she leaves. All right, so now back in the HR room, Danny's last name is King. I didn't even know that. And not only is Danny's last name King, Tony's last name is King as well. That's his stepdaddy. But now his name is Royal because he took on the name of his real daddy when his daddy died. Paul, not Paul, or whatever. So his name isn't but both of them, think Royal and King, both of the names semantics. I'm royalty, I'm king. I mean, all of it sound the same to me anyway. But Danny said she did a extensive search trying to make sure that they not kin because they got the same last name, and I did not even know that. But anyway, the reason why they're down there in the HR room, because it was been word around town that about their relationship, and that Tony is showing favoritism toward Danny because of their relationship. And Tony's whole thing is, I put Danny in the leadership program is because he felt that, she would be good for the position, like she would be good for the program. It's not because of anything personal, it's because he feels that way. And child, HR lady said, well, I'm just gonna have to do some more investigation because child, she don't believe it and I don't either. But anyway, after the after the HR lady leaves, that's when they continue on the conversation. And Danny's whole thing is, I mean, really, I am in the program because I'm your girlfriend, and I am getting heat from other people in the airport because of the fact that we're dating. It always ends up on the woman or whatever. And he was just like, but I would have put you in the program regardless. But my question would be, so if you were not dating Danny, would you still recommend her for the program? Nobody asked that question. So I'm asking, if he was not dating Danny, would he still recommend her for the program? That's all I want to know. All right. So now back over at the juice bar, Jordan is like, okay, so what's really wrong? Talk to me. And the whole thing is, Rich is jealous. And that's all I get. He jealous. He's afraid that because he can't provide Sabrina with a child, the one thing that she wants most out of life, she has the possibility to go to somewhere else, and he's afraid that that family factor won't look the same because she could be with their money, have a baby with their money, and that'll leave Rich hanging. And so the whole thing is, Jordan is like, why don't you just go and tell Sabrina how you feel, and y'all can just pretty much have a heart to heart so she can understand where you're coming from. I mean, Rich, she can understand where you're coming from, but she still wants a baby. So I don't know how it's going to work. Y'all going to have to figure out a plan or something. But he says he's going to be on his way down there to the bank. He's just going to pop up. And so now back over at at the detective homeboy's house, as Agent Watts will call them, the homeboy detectives. Now they're showing him the wall, like all the suspect list, right? Zach's whole thing is, why would we be the ones to try to hurt Gary when we're doing our own investigation ourselves? Hold on, wait, rewind it back, Zach. Now, y'all did say if y'all find out who did it, they can take the heat off of y'all, but you didn't tell Agent White that. You just said, why would we try to find out too? But anyway, so they're looking over everything, and Agent White is still pressing Fatima, and he's still pressing Zach, right? But Fatima coming at with him with facts, just like, you can't do anything to me because everybody that, like Penelope, you put Penelope behind bars, and guess what? She's out because of the lack of evidence. And then Fatima is down on them like, y'all are some whack detectives. Y'all are some whack. Y'all are worse than the APD, Atlanta PD, because you just over here pinning all these different suspects to the wall, making the media coverage. And now it's like, okay, who they gonna get next? Who they gonna get next? Who gonna be next? It's pretty much looking like a zoo show, you know? And so now Agent White, he's just like, well, you know what? You got 24 hours to come up with me with a name, or else he's going to try to get a warrant out on them to make them suspects or whatever. And this the part I didn't like, because why he gonna grab Zach's face like that? Tell me he need to watch it. Child, 24 hours. You won't grab that man face like Zach pushed his hand back real fast. I would have pushed his hand back too. But anyway, tell me, watch yourself, Zach. Why don't you keep your hands to yourself, Agent White, or whatever your name is, like Zach said. What's your name? Agent White, what? Anyway, so that was getting on my nerves. All right, so now back over at the bank. Sabrina is crying because, she's in her feelings about this whole baby situation. And that's when, she go ahead and breaks down to their money, like, Rich is not going to be able to be the father of the baby or whatever. And their money jumps to conclusions and he's just like, oh, so he did all that interfering with me, and now he's just gonna run out after he promised you this. And she was like, no, it ain't like that. His sperm is invaluable. I was like, Sabrina, why are you telling all this man business? You ain't gotta tell him that. The only thing you could have said is y'all not compatible. You ain't gotta say his sperm is invaluable. Just say we not compatible and leave it at that. And so their money is just like, you know what? I'm still available. You still have mine. I'll be happy to, be your baby daddy. You can use it or whatever. So while they are talking, and what was so crazy, because I thought that Rich was going to come in when he was holding Sabrina's hand, but no. He came in when they just looking and talking, and he jumps to conclusion, and it's like, oh, so you already did this? Like, you wouldn't even get, pretty much, you wouldn't even give me us time to figure out a solution. You just automatically go and get their money. It's just like, let me talk, Rich. Let me talk. But no, Rich says, no. Let me explain. No. And he walk on out, child. I said, well, walk out, Rich. Walk out. Shoot, with your brown jacket on. Walk out. And so when he walk out, child, Maurice see him, and Maurice like, you just got a revolving door of ninjas. Just 1 ninja, 2 ninja, 3 ninja, 4. Who's that knocking at my door? I guess nobody now. All right, so now back over at the Taylors, as Zach would like to say, the Taylors. Fatima like, Zach, why would you tell him all our business? Like, why would you tell him that we're doing our own investigation too? It's almost slick like he got y'all snitching now. Don't snitches get stitches. Now they over here really slick snitching, because now they got 24 hours to give him a name. And my thing is, just give him Hayden. Shoot, give him Hayden. Y'all don't like him no way. And he got evidence that he was doing stuff that he wasn't supposed to be. Give him Hayden. So while they over there talking, and also, Fatima pat herself on the back, and she said she did a really good job or whatever handling Agent White, because shoot, she know the law just as much as he know the law. And it is what it is. And then she gets a phone call from Andi saying that, Andi want to see them and all that stuff. All right, so child, Miss Mama Lisa walk in, she go down there to the Pam, to the child Karen's place, went to the saloon, and looking for Pam. Then she busts open the door, and this is what you see. They over there getting it in on the top of the desk. And Mama Lisa like, you need to get up out of here. Like, get up out of here. And then she chastising Pam like, so is this what you doing when Karen out? Like, do you want her to find out you doing this? And Pam like, no, please don't tell him, please. I'm like, well, you shouldn't have been doing it anyway. She talking about they trying to spice up their relationship. Already? Have y'all ain't even been dating that long, talking about spicing up a relationship. But anyway, Mama Lisa says she's not gonna tell Karen anything, because she don't want to stress her out. And then as she walk out, she say the boy was kind of cute. I was like, I guess. All right, so now back over at the townhouse, penthouse, apartment, whatever this is, Andi got penthouse. Karen and Sabrina, they walk in, right? And of course, Karen stunned, like, what the world is she doing here? Miss Marie Willis already on it. So how's my business? What you doing? Where my this? Karen talking about, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you the business plan. It's coming. She's like, well, don't make me wait too long. You need to come on. I need it. Shoot, now, pretty much. And then that is when Sabrina, get to talking about Miss Marie Willis knows her, like, oh, so yeah, you down there at the bank. My friend, she says she's on the board, and the CEO talks really highly of her, and she's making moves, and she's moving through the company. Well, she's like a shining star. And Sabrina is fanning out, talking about, I've been knowing you since the girl group. She read her books, and she said that group that she had, that Miss Marie Willis was in her top 5 or whatever. And then she said she liked country music. And then Miss Marie Willis said, you can like whatever music you like. You can have whatever you like. You can like whatever you like, because you a strong Black woman, and we the reason why the earth is even revolving, because the human bones, the human first female bones was down there in Africa, and they was Black, and we are the creators of the world. Okay, that's it. All right, so now back over at the little luncheon between Robin and Penelope. So Robin gives Penelope good news that he got the police or the FBI, whomever it is, to rescind her confession. So no, it's no longer on the books. They will no longer hold it. It will not be permissible in court. And she's like, oh, she's so happy and all that other stuff. And so she was just saying she wished that she could remember. She wished that she could remember. And somehow, it was talking about the therapy and all. No, because Robin was asking her, like, do you think you should go to therapy? Like, and it could probably help you remember. And did she say, yeah? Well, it'll be a good idea that you need to go to therapy so you can get those memories back popping, right? Because it's funny how Gary can barely remember stuff and Penelope can't remember nothing either. Shoot, maybe they can cancel each other out. I don't know. But anyway, so he said something because she said something about the babies or something, and he said that he's sorry that she lost her babies, and she was like, no, I didn't lose my baby. My baby Gary, unalived him. I guess it was a boy, because she said him or whatever, and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound so like it not like it. I guess like it didn't make it sound so light, like it wasn't a big deal, but it really is. But she was just pretty much. Then she brings up, she said, and then, okay, Robin is just like, oh yeah, because Gary has a way with manipulating women. And then she ends up bringing up Andi and what happened between him and Andi and all that other stuff. All right, so now all the sister circles, they have arrived. When Danny and Fatima come in, child, Miss Marie Willis is like, y'all can go ahead and sit down, right? And so Danny was like, who was this? Like, I mean, y'all may know her, but I don't, because Danny says she still hands out butt whoopings. But Miss Marie Willis goes back and say, well, shoot, I hand them out too, because I done whooped them younger and better. She loves saying she done whooped some, she done did some younger and better, meaning watch your back. So when Danny was about to come back, they was like, not with Miss Marie. Like, she's a mogul, she's a billionaire, she's this, she's that. And then Danny kind of had to hold her lip. I said, girl, you hold your lip, leave her alone, whatever. Don't let her disrespect you, but at the same time, hold it. But Miss Marie Willis was good about it. She was like, look, if I said anything to offend you, then, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just really here trying to make sure all the girls are in a good place in their personal lives so they can move forward in their professional lives, pretty much. And then she goes down the road, and she starts with Sabrina, and she pretty much tells Sabrina, you know what I'm saying, about the whole Rich situation and trying to choose whether or not if she still want to be with Rich. But Miss Marie Willis' whole thing was, look, God's rejection is your protection, and you do what's best for you. If Rich seems like he's very wavery, you don't have to wait on him. Whatever you need to do in regards to your life, go ahead and do it, because it seems like Rich is too reach one way, left or right. He can sway whichever way, depending on how he feel, right? Okay, right. So then she gets on Karen, and she's like, okay, so Karen, what you doing? I understand you got all these baby daddies and all this other stuff. And she was just like, dang, because everybody looking at Andi like, Andi, you telling all our business or whatever. Karen was like, do she got my social? Do she got my social? And Miss Marilla said, yep, I got your social, but she said she did her research or whatever, especially when she going in business with Karen. So of course she gonna do her research. But she was just telling Karen, like, yeah, you've been going through it with your baby daddies. And she said, I know. She said, it's not, of course it's not uncommon, but it's not like you can't go through it. She says you've been through more than most. And pretty much do what's best for you. Focus on you and these babies. And then Karen brings up the fact that, she thinks she still want to be one of her baby daddies. Here go Fatima. Which one? Girl, not Zach. It ain't always about Zach. Aaron. And Miss Marie Willis was like, are you sure that is he reciprocating the same thing to you? And that's when Karen is just like, he's always been there. He always, showed up when I needed him. It seems that way. But Miss Marie was just like, you need to make sure before you jump to whatever decision you're going to make. But just make sure you take care of yourself first and these kids, and your kids or whatever. So, okay, woo. So then she gets on, did she say Fatima? She gets on Fatima. And Fatima. Yeah, so she was like, yeah, you over here, you riding or die for your man and all that other stuff. She said, y'all got this Bunny and Clyde relationship going on. And she said, but you need to know pretty much your self-worth. You don't be so quick to hold your man on a pedestal just for doing the bare minimum, when you over here pretty much doing all the work to make this man be where he is. Don't forget about yourself in the process. You make sure that the same pedestal he holding you up on is the same. Yeah, you make sure the same pedestal that he's holding you on, that you're going to be holding, he's going to hold you on as well. And she said, okay, whatever, cool, woo, woo. And then she gets on Danny. Danny like, hey, not too much on not too much on me, because she talking about I will whoop an old lady or whatever. And then Miss Marie said it again. Whenever you ready, because I put them down too. It don't even matter. But anyway, she gets on, because Danny thought that she really didn't have nothing on her. But when she said panic attack, night terrors, child, why Danny push girl, what's that girl name? Andi so quick. And she was like, well, but she was pretty much saying, but you going through therapy. And I'm glad that you're trying a way to make your life better. I'm glad that you're, doing what you need to do to be better, because a lot of people won't go through therapy. Like, a lot of people won't do the things that you do to try to regulate your mind and get yourself back on the right track. And Danny was crying, and went to me, girl, when Danny started crying, it made me feel like, dude, is Danny going through something personally? Because the way that her face went, and then the way Sabrina, it's like, and then Fatima was like comforting her, and then Sabrina was over there crying for. It's like everybody in that room had got very, very emotional. So that made me feel like, is Danny going through something in real life? And they're just kind of, life imitate art. They putting it out on the screen and all that stuff. So, or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Like, they just kind of making her. Maybe Danny said she want to talk about it and she want to bring it to the screen just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. I don't know, but that scene, it seemed really, really real. It really did, because the way Danny's face was going and how all the other girls was like, you gonna be all right, Danny, like, you gonna be all right. Child, that was some good acting if it wasn't real anyway. But the whole thing was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all y'all women, like, stop waiting on men to validate y'all. And she had said, what did she say? I should have wrote it down, but it was just like, stop, pretty much just choose you. Stop waiting on men to do whatever. Choose you. Like she said, we are We are the people, like we carry everything on our back. Like we are the strongest people and everybody want to be like us. But when it's time to really be us, they don't want to do it. So it takes a strong person to be a black woman. It takes a strong woman to be a black woman. Everybody wasn't designed and equipped to be us at the end of the day. Like we birthed nations. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but she was giving all them a pep talk. Like, yeah, it's cool. Be you. Be you. Don't let nobody dim y'all light. Don't let nobody stop y'all from doing what y'all were created to do. And that's be great women in every aspect of your life. Business, personal, whatever emotions you feeling, whatever it is, just, take it and go and find your, your power and your pain, and now I'm ad-libbing, I'm preaching too. But anyway, Miss Marie Willis gave all of them encouraging words, and I loved it. I was here for it. I thought that this conversation was very, very needed at a moment, in a time when you really don't know what to do. It's always good to have these words coming out at you. But then at the end of it, though, she looked at Andi and she said, look, if you not have yourself down there at the Benson, Hedges, and Jones, she gonna be leaving, because she said she is not finna have no wimp for no she's not finna have no wimp. What she said, wimp for no attorney or something, she said. But child, she said she gonna be done with Andi if Andi ain't brought herself down there to that Benson, Hedges, and Barnes or whatever it is. I said, ooh, Andi, what you gonna do? Girl, you better take yourself back to work, because at the end of the day, Andi, you do have the upper hand. Who got a billionaire client that's willing to help you and be there with you and talk to your friends and all this other stuff. Anyway, so that was pretty much it for this episode of Sistas. I choose me. I choose you. I choose me. Whatever it is, I'll have it down in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and y'all have a great day. Bye.